place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
Welcome, Lauralie. You finally made it over here. You know, I was thinking about before you came over is you have one of those unique names. You know, we say Arnold, or like even Ronnie now. Like people are like Ronnie Coleman. You know, I guess you could say Jay too. Not many J's in bodybuilding, but there's no Lauralies in bodybuilding. That's your full name though. Like it's not Lauralie. People think her name's Lauralie, right? Is it Lauralie?
Lauralie, yes.
No,
Lauralie.
Like, oh, is that what it's supposed to say?
No. So people think it's Lauralie
but
or like separated.
You have a last name is what I'm saying.
Got it. I do have a last name.
So it's supposed to be, people think your name is Lauralie.
So you're thinking Laura, middle name Lee.
No. People think her name is, last name.
Oh, Laura, last name Lee?
Like
Yes.
L-E-E.
Does it bother you when people call you Lorelai? Because I hear people say that sometimes.
I know they do. I don't, just because it's a translation and it's like correct technically the way that I write it.
Sandy calls you Lorelai.
She does.
Yes. I
Every
was
single
gonna say.
time. But then
Lorelai?
it just,
It's like, or when people say Regan, they'll be like, Reagan? It's like,
But then it would sound weird if they she just stopped saying that, you know? And
Yeah.
I think one Olympia, she kind of stumbled on my name. I was just like, just go by Lorelai. It's fine. You get a free pass.
But that's how, what I'm saying is, you have one name, but people think it's a first and last name.
Yes, I've had that before.
But I've thought about you're one of the people that
the one name.
anyone knows who that person is, which I think is pretty cool.
That is cool, actually.
A lot of people don't say their last name. You know, they don't.
It's true.
They just say, "Oh, Lauralie," and they say, "Oh, I know who that is," right?
Yeah, I've heard it's international too, so it's cool.
Or they don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Fair. Chapados. That's fair. I don't even pronounce it right. Chapados is in French, and then Chapados is whatever I made up in English, I guess.
Say, yeah. We're not good at French anyway over here, so.
It's fair. Me neither. I'm not good anymore.
No, you lose the.
You do. And when I speak French, I speak with my parents, so it's kind of not super grammatically correct. So
Your first language was French, though.
French. Yeah. And then to be able to travel, my parents knew I had to learn English eventually. So then put me in an English school, and then there's a law called Law 101 that passed in order to preserve the language. So they kicked me out of English school, put me back into a French school. I read my first French school. I was, probably what's middle school? 5 years old, 7 years old maybe. And then,
Well, what's unique about you is, I remember the first time on Olympia stage and placing second, you were early 20, 21 or?
I think I had
20.
just turned 21. I might have been 20. Yeah, around those ages.
And I always wanted to ask you this because I, at 27, was second to Ronnie Coleman for the first time. And I was literally wow, I'm second. And that started the whole aura of whatever I did. And I'm I'm going to win this thing soon. But it took you a minute to do it. Mm-hmm. So did you think that after being second, first time, what was it? Was it first Olympia you showed up and got?
First Olympia.
We holy moly, I'm going to win this thing. And of course it didn't transpire till 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago, yeah. I think when Sandy called Angelica and I still get chills from that moment because that was the moment where I just started battling out, but I kind of realized where I was going against it. And then to me, I wasn't winning that one because I was going against Angelica, But then after that, it did set a standard into I'm going to enter every show that Angelica is not there and I'm going to win the show. For me, was just a logic of a 21 years old just starting into the sport. Now, the only person that I've never beat is Angelica, and that was it for me. But then, long behold, I got beat a couple of times.
But you know, I tell you, this is the first time I'm actually saying this probably on a public forum is I literally stood there when I was second to Ronnie and I was not disappointed one bit.
True.
At all, because my expectations were like, I know I might have said like, oh, you know, I was ahead by 6 under prejudging. They had a 2-day show and then I lost, but I was like, I didn't expect to be here. So for me, it was when everyone's like, oh, you should have won or this, I was always thinking in my head, I'm like, no, this is like, I'm thankful I got second because that second best in the world was, but then I set the record for being second place, right? Over and over and over. So, I mean, you finished a couple of times, you know, obviously winning Arnold. So you went and did exactly, he just reminded me today that you beat my record at the Arnold Classic. Because I was 3 in a row.
So we tied it.
Oh, I thought you won 4 in a row.
Oh.
No.
Oh, you won 3 in a row.
3, yes.
Oh, okay. But you've won 4 total.
No, 3.
Oh, then I'm wrong.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
mind. I'm wrong.
Okay.
I thought you won 4 in a row.
I wish, but no.
So I'm
tied.
the only one in history ever to win 3 consecutive Arnolds.
I heard that.
And then, I mean, controversially, 04, Cormier thinks he should have won, which he probably could have. I mean, I admit that, you know.
Do you
Very
go back?
controversial.
Do you go back a lot on your career and like those placing and you?
Because
You
it comes
kinda
up a lot.
Okay.
I don't ever think about it because I look at what I have, you know, I look at the 3 Arnold trophies and, but I listen to the chatter and it's easy to 20 years later to say, I should have won that show against Jay Cutler or whatever. I mean, it's a topic. Just like today, they talk about, which you guys, I feel like don't get the conversation like we do. Like they try to compare to me to Dorian Yates or Ronnie, you know, Ronnie Coleman against Dorian Yates, who really didn't come up to speed when Dorian was a champion. But they don't necessarily say, oh, what about Lauralie against Ashley Kay? 'Cause she's still doing it, right? Or these girls, the bikini division is so young still that they don't go back to, oh, if she would have stood next to her, probably 20 years from now they may, right?
It's just that the shelf life is different. I feel like competitors now, like I feel. How long ago have you known of Ronnie? Like whenever you came second place to him?
I mean, he was around for quite a while, you know, but not to the caliber that he was.
In the bikini, usually girls are on the top for 2 or 3 years, and then they kind of. But to be in that top 2 area you've been there for like almost a decade.
I know.
You're an OG. I told her on the way here, you're an OG.
100%. I realized that last
She's
year.
like
It hit me hard.
She's the elder statesman in her, and she's 30. She's the elder statesman.
Yeah, but I feel like when I just started this conversation, you were 20, just turning 21. So a lot of the girls that are competing in that top 5 are older than you are.
Now, yes.
That's what I mean. So she's not really, she's an OG in a class of
she's been doing it a while.
older
but she's still
division,
younger
you know?
than everybody.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. When I tell people I'm old, I say old in the sport. I've been 11 years in this sport. That's a long time. You know, I don't think there's a lot of competitor that has been doing shows every year for 11 years.
You and
Some
Ashley.
of them,
But she took a
Ashley
break,
took
though.
a break.
She took a break for
You
3
know?
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you, I mean, we always say 10 years is a great fitness, I would say fitness in general, for a competitor's career is 10 years. And you've already surpassed that and still knocking at the door as we are 10 weeks out. So
Yeah.
welcome to show 10 weeks out. This is kind of, which of course he's going to ask you some questions about that, I'm sure.
We got all kinds.
I'm stressed. I'm not prepared for this, but
No,
thank
why
you so
not?
much for having me.
Why you not? Why you not? I actually know you for a long time.
I know.
So it's not like you're stepping into like uncharted territory here.
But that's even more stressful
Why?
because there's a story. Like there's an actual, there's a lot. You
Yeah.
know?
So tell me a little bit about the background, which you've done a million times, but why'd you get into it?
I got into bodybuilding because I was very young. I was playing soccer, and then I saw a special at the door at the gym. I was driving across every single day, and I was like, I need something that I can just have for myself, you know? Yeah. By then, we're younger. We go out the club very young. Like in Canada, we turn legal age at 18. So the girls weren't serious in my team anymore to like really have that competitive edge. So I was like, okay, let me get something like an outlet I can just rely on myself. So $300 a year. I walked into the gym. I paid full cash, and then I just started my journey.
What gym was that?
It's called Proform. I don't think it exists anymore.
okay.
They closed.
It was one of the Montreal like famous Monster or
Pro Gym.
Yeah,
you know Pro Gym. Yeah. Yes. So, and then I saw a figure competitor, and we still talk to this day. She was, older, but beautiful built, and I was just starstruck. And she came to me and she said, "You have great potential to compete." And I was like, "To do what?" I literally had just started, still training in the little woman's room, and getting my way up there. And little that I know, she kind of picked me under her wing, and I did my first show about like 7 months after that comment. So, yeah, and then
you 18 or?
I just turned 18. It was my year of 18 years old. Yeah.
And what show was that? Like a local show there?
Yes, it was a Québec de l'Est. It was called, so a small regional show.
And it was Bikini?
Bikini. Yeah.
Who was the first inspirational figure you saw that like inspired you besides that woman, figure woman?
I think by that time, like around that time, it was a lot of the Andrea Brazier, like the girls with just like the bigger legs. Like I was looking at these. She's from Dubai, I think. I think she's still active, but has baby now. Bella Falcone was one of them. So very like fitness lifestyle. And then slowly but surely, I kind of started obviously looking at Angelica was one of them. India Polino was one of them. Amanda Latona, one of them too.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of history.
Yeah.
She starts throwing out those
Who's the
names.
greatest female Canadian competitor? I'm going to put you on the spot.
The greatest female.
Of any division.
You do put me on the spot right there. Because I know that you know. Wait, in any division?
Any division.
I should know that.
Who's the greatest male?
I want to say C-Bum.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I would assume Missy would be there. Would she win 3 Olympias or 2? Missy Truscott?
2.
2.
I believe she's 2. So she would be there, but I also know Mimi Capes was a great fitness competitor too in Canada. And then Jen Dory.
Yeah, Jen.
She's to Olympia.
Yeah, Jen's.
To Olympia, 1 Arnold, right? Jen, I think. Or 2. No, 1, I think.
I think she
1
won
Arnold, 2.
Arnold and 2 Olympia. So Jen's there too?
Yeah.
You guys came up kind of at the same time.
Very much. I mean,
Did you know each other or no? Because you were from 2 different areas, right?
so when I won my pro card in Canada, we had to win the overall, and she was on that overall lineup. So when I won my pro card the year before her, and then she did her pro debut in Toronto. That's my first pro win I had in 2000. That was 2018. Yeah, when the point system was still on. I was just chasing points. I did Toronto, won that show. She was right there in the lineup with Jazzy in the lineup. Dara, I think. Dara. She's from New York. She used to train with Juan Morel.
Okay.
And who else was on there? Like Ashley Nia Castro was on that lineup. And then did Chicago. India was on that lineup. And then Tampa Pro.
We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102. Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough. Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
Won all those shows. And
How many shows did you and Jen Dory finish first or second next to each other?
good question.
I know there was Olympia that you were first or second.
Yes, the 2021.
Jen got second and Maureen got third. 21, right?
Yes, 2021. I want to say the Arnold probably. We did that where like I won and she finished second probably. And then a couple like Tampa Pro, I think that year we did that too. I'm not sure.
Why do you think so many people love to follow your career? I feel like whenever I ask someone about their favorite bikini competitor, they mention your name. Do you feel like you just have that connection with the fans, or is it your travel schedule? Is it your communication? Because obviously you work social media, we all do, right? But you've met a lot of people Does it kind of sometimes kind of blow you away how many people you've met through the network of bodybuilding? I mean, I guess you've been around a long time too, so.
No, but still, but I look at you and I'm so impressed at how you're handling those meetings with people. And
you have
I
a
find
huge
it-
following though, huge.
yeah, it's hard to keep up. Like the way that you keep up is kind of like what I'm aiming myself to do. I think initially I entered the sport as like, okay, Angelica did this, set the standard of like traveling and be there. And then eventually there was more on YouTube, you know, giving me the opportunity to be with like Dave. We filmed a lot of content out there. So like that aspect of putting out content that was very real and very like genuine has helped me a lot to be eventually relatable to everybody. So now I reach, 60 years old. Now even more men are coming towards me with just like that kind of respect of just athlete mentality because I just put more out there. And I've been there again for a long time. So I've transcended bodybuilding a little bit, but yeah, it's been crazy, the opportunities. The line's getting longer every single year. Like my first Olympia, I had nobody, like 0 people at my table. And then slowly but surely now I'm closing the place. We're keeping the meet and greet on the outside door because it's really hard to cut a line. Really hard to cut a line when you're just meeting people and people are just like bringing their stories and inspiration. And, I'm sure you get so much more out of them that you can ever give back to them. That's how I feel.
Yeah, but your resume, I mean, you've had your ups and downs, right? I mean, as far as competitions, I mean, you won the Arnold 3 years, 3 years in a row. Mm-hmm. And, the Olympia has been one of those things where it's like, you seem like sometimes you go there and like when you think you're going to win, like you don't place as well. I mean, how has that affected you, and how do you feel like you're able to kind of switch gears and then you come back and you display in these other shows that you won, like in the earlier season, right? Because it doesn't seem to discourage you, and I think that's where people see the positivity. I think that's what touches people. But I know for me, being like the underdog and not always winning, I always look at someone like Phil Heath or like Ronnie, who like were dominating all these shows, but I built a massive fan base because people can relate to it. Do you think like, how are you able to switch the gears when you have disappointments that you just don't take it that serious?
No, I think I'm taking it serious, but on a different aspect. I think I've understood the game of bodybuilding. Like this, there's a lot of things in my control. Like we're talking weeks before of just training, nutrition, and cardio. If I do all that, I'm a winner either way beforehand. Now, did we miss the mark many times? Yes. There's nobody to blame. It just is what it is, but there's no point for me lingering on. And I think more and more within my career and like those lessons of just losing, I kind of got almost the same excitement as winning. When I won, I was excited, but I knew the work wasn't done yet. And it's kind of the same way when you're losing also. You have feelings to go through that you need to process. And then next thing I know, I'm just even more committed to the sport. Like it proves my love for the sport every single time, and it goes deeper. So
have you ever gone into a prep where you're like, this hasn't going as well the last few weeks where, where it's like, damn, like I'm going to be off, and then like somehow you place better? Or is it kind of like speak for itself?
So,
because I always had great preps. Like I always was like, man, I feel good. And then like sometimes I went there and it's just the cards weren't dealt in my favor, right? I can't help how someone else is going to show up. And I feel like your division is so close, like as far as what they're looking for sometimes. And it seems to, sometimes can alter based on the lineup. Like what with men bodybuilding, like big, freaky, whatever, you know what I mean? You have a bunch of guys, obviously conditioning matters, but like it was still a muscle show, right? So with the female side, seems like they, from the transition of what the thing has become from the beginning, it's hard to kind of work with your physique and change. Because like when you landed your first at 21, like how much has your physique changed since then?
a lot. But essentially, what I'm trying, like whenever I get those comments, because those comments are being made for about now, like I would say 4 years, that people are scared of like where the division is going and how it's been evolving. And if you do put all the winners from year to year and you put a stencil of like, let's say you put all the judges, okay, what is the perfect bikini physique? Like just draw it on paper and you would put a stencil and just go like this. It's very similar. Like every one of us, like we would fit the stencil from 0.1% difference better than our other competitor. And every single year that I look back, like, you know, even to me, my 2024 Olympia, it was good for the criteria then, but I couldn't have won. I still believe that I couldn't have won 2025 with the same physique that I won in 2024. And that's how fast, even now more, it's like they're pushing the perfect fit of the stencil that I'm talking about.
How do you prep for like this year going in to the Olympia? How are you prepping differently compared to last year?
I mean, it's complete 180. And I think obviously making the decision of working with Damian Segovia that has won many Olympias and repeating titles too. We're talking like not 2 titles repeated. We're talking like 8.
8 with Sid.
With Sid, 6 with Drea, you know, working on their 7. So it's a completely different grind. And that's where, you know, where I needed to be. You know, I feel like for a very long time, I've been very successful at making it work. But now I'm like, this is all eggs in the same basket and I'm not afraid to say it. You know, I'm 30. I've been in the sport for a long time. Like I'm not losing another title. I know I'm not going to feel embarrassed again on stage. And when I do one thing, like I just go to the extreme and I had the freedom to do
What's
that.
the difference with Damian's approach compared to the past? What does he do differently that gives you that confidence?
I think he really sees the individuality of the person. And by that, I mean like looking at muscle insertions and like there was a lot of gap in my physique. There's been gaps in my physique. Like I already kind of knew that. But thankfully enough, like I had somewhat of a structure genetically that could get away with, you know, some judges like me a little bit fuller. When I'm leaner, like we don't see as much as the bubbliness or the muscle, especially because I didn't have that maturity for a very long time. But now it's like Damian is not fearful of just like pushing it where it needs to be to like have a full physique. And it's not something that the judges are necessarily going to point out, but you know, my chest is a little bit fuller. So now I'm not gonna hear, hey, you have a little bit of a shallow chest. Like that gives you a little bit of that, you know, skinny effect. And I got comments like that. You know, I wouldn't get necessarily more condition than my other competitors, but I would start looking stringy, you know, and there was just things that could have been better to fulfill my potential as an athlete, you know. And I think now, you know, I'm eating the right food to fuel my workout the way that I'm, you know, the intensity. He monitors my intensity every single day. So he knows how to feed me. It's easy.
And you're also one of the taller competitors up there.
Yeah.
Because most of the girls
It's
are
hard.
a lot shorter than you, so it takes you a lot longer to fill your physique out.
Yes, and I do feel, you know, to be honest with you, I do feel like now they're really going for a little bit of a width competitor, and I've always been on that more like lengthy side. So for us to take place as you know, a taller competitor, if you don't have that wide clavicle, you need to like build on top of that. And while keeping a small waist, to still have that illusion, and then all of that needs to be proportioned. So it's like a big melting pot of a lot of things. But yeah.
If I asked you the best physique that ever won the Olympia, do you have a one that you like? That's the one.
Remove yourself.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll remove myself.
Like where you've
immediately.
looked at someone and been like, damn, that's like,
I
or is it
think
just two particular certain portions of your timeline that you've been in active?
no. I think Janet, when she won, fully deserved it. I think arguably for me, Jen should have 3. Because that year I think she looked amazing. But I like her. When did she won? 2020? No, 2022. I think her first. Very bubbly, was still like a little bit of a baby Jen for me. But Angelica 2018 for me was such a turning point in just the bikini as a whole.
Was that your first one?
It was 2017. So
Oh,
when
so-
she showed up in 2017 and she was granted the win, like for me it was, now we have an ambassador of the sport as a title holder that's going to take like responsibility of it. And I think to this day, she elevated that athleticism in bodybuilding, you know, and just like develop muscle into a woman. So I think, yeah, for me, Angelica, 2007.
That was like a
probably.
perfect storm for her that year, because the year before she got second, and then she beat Courtney, and then at the Arnold, and then she won the Arnold Australia, and then she won the Olympia.
Crazy.
And then she did it over again, won the Arnold Australia, and Olympia again. She won all three. She did, and then I think.
And then Olympia again, 2019. Wow.
So 2 Arnolds in a row, 2 Olympias in a row, 2 Arnold UKs in a row.
Solid. Yeah. Legendary. Yeah.
So you live this. I mean, you've migrated now to be around your trainer. You never did that before ever in your career, to actually lived in that. Like, you worked with different coaches, right? But to actually migrate and be in it, like you just said, intensity. Explain that to me, because I want the people to hear what that means. Because I always talk about, like, you have to have intensity when you train, you know, obviously commitment, you have to be locked in. I always talk about living in a box. They have this whole thing now. You ever see those boxes?
Wait, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
the best marketing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's great.
And listen, this is just a one-time blurb from one of my DVDs, and now it's a soundbite on, like, SoundCloud, and they say I lived in an effing box.
So
I would
good.
hang up on people, and they all show up in boxes. You saw MegaFit did the whole thing, right? So I literally
It's so
explains
good.
it to a perfect, and I see now other individuals in big business using that in their Instagram posts, like, because now it explains exactly what we do.
It
Like,
does.
we block everything, right? Because there's one thing, 10 weeks out, what's the goal? Victory.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing you're thinking about right now. I just asked you when you walked in, how long are you here for? I'm back to work. I'm leaving as soon as I'm here to do some business, and then I'm right back at it. So talk about the intensity. What is intensity to you when it comes to your training, nutrition, headspace, all that?
It's interesting because I just got a call from a casting agent recently, and these were my exact word. I'm like, hey, so if you guys are filming during that timeline, here's what I need to make it work. 4 a.m., I need my coach. I need my ice bath that's grounded. I need my newbie, because we have like different, you know, machine and tools to work out there. I need a chiropractor. I need my 2-body work that needs to be there. So I'm just like listing those things. And then in my head, I'm like, my water, my this, my that. And then long behold, the answer was just, it's not going to be possible. But I had to make a choice.
Like a diva situation. Huh?
It's a lot.
I was just gonna say, I was like, wow, they're probably like, yo, what is
we
it?
know,
She's
we know
Madonna.
this, like with J-Lo and, like, you know.
She's got a 2-page rider.
But it's interesting because I feel like I've always entered into, okay, I'm going to make it work no matter what. But I'm like, knowing
love it.
where
I
I'm
love it.
going exactly, this is it. Like, this is exactly the environment that I want. And I'm going to protect that at all costs. And sometimes, like, yeah, I can lock myself into a box. Like, I can do that pretty well because I love switching on and I love training. But then it's everything else around it. If you're around people that talks negative or just it is not about the sport, like now I go to the gym, I go back to my house to my little dog Leo, and then that's just me and him. And the same day every single day, and it's the routine. So
You know,
Yeah.
when we were on our way here and we were having a conversation, and I had told you, if you do everything in your power, no matter where you place, you can go to sleep at night. But if you miss those little things, if you don't place right, you're going to look back and go, what if I'd have done those extra ice baths? What if I'd have done this? Could any one of those little things at 10 weeks out make the difference at that smallest little level to win the title? So at least now you can look back and go, I did everything. So
Exactly.
wherever I place is where I belong.
now that I know, you know, and I think whenever it came down to me switching coach, you know, it's hard. I'm sure you went through that. It's hard. You know, I had promises with my coach where like I would retire with him, and that was our run. Very hard. But again, it was a matter of decision.
It's still difficult for me today because Chris Aceto started me at 18 and a half, didn't charge me, took me under his wing till I was in the financial freedom to be able to pay him. And then, of course, you know, I came back and won 09 with Hani. And he showed me the way. I mean, and then of course I finished with Chris, right? So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, what did each do for you? And a lot of Chris was a mentality thing, but also he had the knowledge. And then Hani was a mentality thing. And he also had knowledge for that time. And I was hard to coach when Hani brought me in. And that's probably, looking back now and stepping away from it as long as I have, I realize now I became a little less coachable for Chris Aceto in a sense. And then when I got the new guy, Hani, who was very, you know how Hani is, he's very like, you're going to do this. I mean, you don't diet with him, but you work with him, right?
Yes.
He's very on point with making sure things are processed correctly. And that worked. And then I got, so overwhelmed with my success, right? I came back in 2009, probably one of the best looks I ever had, and demolished everyone that year. So your head gets here, right? And you got to reel yourself back in. I was better chasing. And then I always say that. I was better the underdog. I got so used to that. So when I did get to the top, I was very disappointed on what that top was. Meaning, I won the Olympia, and I know for a few days it was like, didn't sink in. Then 2 weeks later, wow, I'm Mr. Olympia. But then I'm like, wow, I expected more, because that's just my mindset. I'm just a super, super driven person that my expectations are never satisfied, if that makes sense. That's what made me so great. Always chasing, because I'm like, I can be better. But then when you reach the pinnacle, it's like, and you win again and you win, you know what I mean? It's just hard to get motivation sometimes. Where I feel like, you won the Arnold, like, what motivates you to continue to go back there? Because you love it, you love the show. But I listened to your coach, and when you said intensity, I saw an interview that Damien did, and he's like, this is the best physique ever. This can't be beaten, right? About your showing in, where'd you compete, Pittsburgh? Or?
We did Pittsburgh. I won Pittsburgh, and
Yes.
then Arnold,
Yes.
the second place.
But he said this, you were a work in progress, and then when you hit Pittsburgh, was that your best physique you've created yet?
Yes.
And he was very confident of that. So
He's confident about the Olympia. For
He is,
Damien,
right?
there's the Olympia, that's his show, but it's going to be phase 3. He still says we have a lot of work to do. Like, I know we have a lot of work to do, but that's exactly why I hired you, though.
because when you turned around in Pittsburgh, it was like, that was a standard, right?
Thank
You still look at the pictures and like, wow, shocked, right?
Yeah.
I look at 2009, and I remember Hani showed me pictures in the room when we were posing, and I'm like, that's me. I couldn't believe it, because I hadn't seen that before. When you reach that wow moment of, my body can look like this, like, you turned around, and it was like, you look down the line, and you look down the line at these shows, and you're like, oh, the girls are similar, but you were like, and then everybody else.
Thank you.
That's the moment. That's how you want to win. So, that was probably your greatest dominant win of all time, I would figure.
What was
Yeah, to
difference?
come
What was the
back.
difference going into that show versus some of the other ones?
The entire prep, but I think, I'm really going back there at, there's nothing to lose for me right now. And truly, really, I mean that, and I haven't said that anywhere yet. But this year's Olympia, I'm going to have the best physique in my entire life. I know that for a fact. And then again, whatever happens at the Olympia, victory or not victory, there's victory
That's pretty
either
fucking
way.
cool, though, to be honest, that you can sit there with
But
the
that's
confidence and say
that's
it.
what I'm saying.
And
because
it's not arrogance or cockiness or discrediting anyone. So I hate
It's
that
not.
I hate that these people take podcast moments and they're like, they're cocky. We had Joe Palacio here saying he's going to beat Nick Walker and how he can break. Then it turns into like, oh, he's so cocky.
It's
And
ridiculous.
I went into every show saying, I'm beating Ronnie Coleman, but I wasn't on a podcast saying that or social media. I was in a magazine so people could think what they want. But people thought, oh, Jay's arrogant, whatever. But I was just confident the way I was coming there to win. You're not coming there to place fifth.
Right. And I think, when you're talking about your 2009 and that picture that you're like, oh
quad
shit,
song.
just that
Yeah, yeah.
moment of consciousness that you're like, that's actually me. I can look like that. And then you start, because of the underdog mentality, you start thinking about how good and better you can actually look, because there's always still something better. That's why we're doing it. So I'm like, am I confident that I have untouched potential there's a lot of athletes that are maxed out, unfortunately, like is the reality. Like you could even say that Ronnie was about maxed out at some point in his career, and then maybe he pushed the threshold a little bit on size. When you start playing games like this and kind of getting away of your own lane, but I've just starting my lane. That's the thing. Like Pittsburgh was great. It's not going to be, like I don't want it even comparable to the Olympia.
I know,
You
but
know?
you walked into the man. He just called you the OG, and like you're just catching your stride right now. So tell him to shut up.
You got another 10 years.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Hey,
If you're winning, why not?
you know what?
That be careful what you.
I said I was retiring at 30. I quit at 40. I
You can
hit
quit
my
at 40
stride in
too.
30s.
What did you think about, I mean, did you had that? Because obviously we're talking two different things. I feel like your age is one thing, but your age in the sport is a second thing. But 29, 30, when you thought about retiring, was it,
No.
where was it at?
My body was just getting the rhythm. It was so easy to get in shape. The diet was
Exactly.
nothing. I mean, I did shows at that age of no cardio whatsoever. It was just food manipulation training. But I trained twice a day. I always talk about this. I was locked in. I didn't have guest appearances like crazy then.
Okay.
Like I can't say that. I started to get them, but
They were on the West Coast though. You wouldn't travel. Far.
so there was Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, and then there became Jay Cutler, the businessman. And I realized that, okay, what is my goal? Is my goal to be the greatest bodybuilder ever, or is it to be the age at over 40 and retired and doing what I want to do? And I led to more of the business side. That was my goal. And honestly, it was. I knew I'd be okay at bodybuilding, but I didn't plan on being the best because after the 01 Olympia, I realized that I was up against it. You know, I was ahead by 6, lost to Ronnie. I just never knew if they would give it to me. Not saying it political, but I felt like that show should have been mine because I caught him on a bad day. Everyone has a bad day.
Yeah.
But I had to make that decision. And I always said I could be a better bodybuilder if I would have just stayed home and trained. So exactly what you're doing now is when I was the
down.
best.
I was going to ask you, why do you think you had such success at the Arnold, but then when it came to the Olympia, the success wasn't there? Like, was there something different where year in and year out, you came to the Arnold and just nailed it, but then you go to the Olympia and something would be, what do you think? What's the reason for that in your opinion?
I know the answer, actually.
I want to hear your answer because a lot of people have answered that question for me because I still don't know. I can assume things, but
You mentioned her height. You mentioned, like, obviously fullness. And it's just hard to peak a body twice a year, man. It's just
true.
really hard. I mean, big guys can't do it. Derek Lunsford did it last year and was able to pull it off somehow. But they'll tell you, I mean, Ronnie Coleman said he'd never do it again. I mean, for me, it was always a hindrance, like, oh, we're back at it again. But the body, any coach would tell you it's really hard to peak the body like that.
And if you really think about it, it's technically 3 times because you hit it on what date? 6 months later, and 6 months later again, you're peaking 3 times in a 12-month period.
yeah. I mean, listen, I've had like a month off between every show this year. Like it's
it's
rocky.
necessary, right?
To compete less or to have that off.
To have that off
For sure.
time, yeah.
100%.
And you didn't do that before.
No, I would, but then I would slam myself with just traveling everywhere. Like it's Honey that just called me one time and he was like, hey, I think it
Stop
needs to
it,
stop.
right?
Yeah, it needs to stop.
You need a mental break too.
For sure.
Shut it down mentally.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
the travels, you were doing a lot of appearances probably, right?
Yeah, like
you were
every other
trying to be
weekend.
the bodybuilder and the business person.
You just don't say no to opportunities. It's hard, from where you come from where I come from, where you don't make it. Like, if you make it in Quebec, it's kind of like you have a job at the government type. That's how I felt. So when I went to LA, I started training there. I started being on YouTube. Like, I didn't even made it to like my family, like until probably like the last year or so. We're like, okay, now like she's traveling, she's hosting seminars. Like there's a lot of things going on. So I felt that the more my calendar was booked, the more relevant. I couldn't say no. Like you couldn't even pay me to say no and sit out of court because I was like, who am I going to be, without this? But then again, making the decision this year is the Olympia. But I think I couldn't do that if I didn't put myself in position. So I kind of go back and forth. But right now, I'm just so grateful that I've worked so hard to be able to pay double rent, somewhere else and like train with the best of the best.
So tell me your reason why. Tell him why you couldn't peak.
Why do you think you couldn't peak? What's your opinion?
All I'm saying is what people have told me in the past. It's kind of like that the double peak. I think it's the pressure. Sometimes people think that there's just too much going on at the Olympia that eventually I would get into my head and then it would be too much. But I've had shows where I come in so lean and then I come in too full. And then there's a lot of things that.
Yeah, but she won the Olympia, so I don't know what,
I mean, I did it now at my 7th, but it was always a thing where I would look really good and think I would look really good. And I think we were just missed the peak, but I think it missed peak. It's more so because I didn't have a chance to be with a trainer that would not fear the judges' criteria and just be like, hey, we're going to bring something that they won't say no to. And that's the idea that you want. It's like build a physique that they won't be able to say no to. And I feel like that's how you can, because how am I going to, if I start competing against other people, I'm always going to be to their max best, but is it going to be my best? Probably never. When I competed at my first Arnold, 6th place, my worst place in my entire career, that was after finishing second place.
Yeah, I remember.
Sandy cried in my face. She was like, I don't know who did that to you. I was really bad and I don't know how I would, coming back from this, but I was very skinny. I lost a lot of muscle that year, but it was my first year as like fully locked in bodybuilder. Like it was my full-time job now. I had like a $500 check from a clothing company. I thought I made it, So
I remember that year because when she came out, she was second in the world and you looked almost anorexic. Like everything was stripped off you. You were shredded. And it was like, oh, that's not a good look.
I mean, I think I was like 121 pound. I go on stage at like 132 right now. Like it's a whole 10 pound out of a taller physique.
That's what I was saying at the Arnold. For the most part, she's consistently boom boom, but at the Olympia it was kind of like this. So I was just wondering why you thought that would come.
Yeah, the environment. I think I do very well now. Even going to the Arnold one year, I didn't compete, but it's going back to the same hotel. It's the same staff. The environment is great. My parents love it, and that was one of the first show they actually came to see me. So it just holds, a special time here. Whereas the Olympia, it can be overwhelming just because things. A lot. It's just, it gets a lot if you let them get a lot. Now I have better strategies. Like I know how to visualize my whole week now. It's easy for me. I know where to go, where to train, how to schedule my time. And also being very strict with just, I need to eat. In the past, I would just, like I said, skip a meal and just like make it work with just meeting the fans while I'm training. Now I can't do that anymore. I just feel like I'm trying to get people's respect instead of love all the time. And that has changed my career a little bit.
So when you turned pro and you started getting into this, was your family supportive of you doing this? Or were they like a lot of other parents of bodybuilders, like, that's not a real job, you can't make money, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to go were they supportive since day one right along?
No.
Most aren't. So
no, and it doesn't come down from like them not supporting me or it. I just didn't bring it up to the table because I didn't want to justify myself into that hobby that I had, and they called it a hobby for a very long time. And it was a hobby for a very long time until I essentially get paid for it, So it was my little thing. For a very long time, it was my little thing. I ordered my first bikini and I worked really hard for it and I glued stone on it for my first show. And I had someone believing in me, but it's hard to bring it at a family dinner when all you really ask is like your grades. And, my parents are extraordinary now. Like there's no better supporter than them. Like they will watch this show. They watch all of your podcasts. They watch all of my episodes. Like there is no better supporter than them, but I had to be able to communicate. And when I was very young, like I couldn't. And thankfully I have two amazing brothers. They're twins and big fans of bodybuilding. So they helped with that a little bit. And they brought movies and people that have made it in the industry, great bodybuilders that, my parents just felt a little bit more safe I still graduated though. I still graduated college and went to university until like I had a solid like, hey, I'm accepted to do the Arnold. It's very prestigious, and my window of opportunity is this big. I'm gonna take it. And I didn't go back to university. Logistic engineering.
You can go to university later in life.
Yeah.
But you got a moment in time, so capitalize.
Exactly. We'll see. Who knows? My mom still asks me if I'm gonna go back to school and what I would do. But
Well, you're going to compete till you're 40, so you got some time.
I'm gonna be like Jay and Matt said 10 years. So we got no guys.
Hey, as long as you're winning.
I'm not gonna say no. I don't know why.
It sounds like you're having a really good time right now. Though.
Yeah.
I do. I'm having a blast.
Like
actually.
I like your demeanor now better than the past.
I was going to say.
Yeah, we spoke before the Arnold. Do you remember I saw you in the gym?
Yeah, I remember.
And obviously you had, you were like, this is it. This is like I'm laying it down here, and you like were wildly successful there. And then you had the run. So I mean, what the physique can do now, which is it's the crazy part. Like you've matured now in your mindset along with your lifestyle, right? Now okay, this is what I need to adapt to. And I think now you've created the acceptance around you, right? Where I'm locked in. Like you traveling now between now and Olympia much, or?
I have one more trip for Steve Weinberger for his 40th. Make an exception
We will all be there.
Amazing. One day again, I'm flying Friday after training, and I'm leaving back at Saturday.
I feel like
no
you
dinner.
did that for the seminar the last time too.
Yeah, I would do that.
For our February thing.
You know what?
I think you came in and
She's
came out.
one of the few that does that now. You know how many times we flew to the Arnold UK for a night and a half.
That's a little
and flew
harder
back.
because
Yeah,
it's
but
a long
that's
flight,
what you guys
But
do.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to travel like Jay Cutler. What do you mean?
Very few do. You get in as soon as the business is done. If you can get on a flight the same night, get out. Get home to your own bed.
Yeah.
Because the next day you can start over fresh instead of traveling.
Because that'll
all
be
day.
Exactly.
5 weeks or
About that.
5
yeah.
or 6, yeah.
15. Yeah, I think it's going to be 6.
So for our viewers, especially the females that tune into this, so thank you females for tuning into the Jay Cutler podcast because we don't get as many, right? But we know you're going to be our biggest. If we look at the results from our podcast, we're going to get so many females. Your day, obviously, you're talking about the training. How much posing does it come down to on a daily basis? Is it a daily basis thing, or really? Do you put your heels on and everything? Or?
Every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, every morning. So
and what do you do? What's the how long? Like you talk about the ice baths and everything else. So how long is the posing session?
It's about 10, 15 minutes. I go through my rounds, my mandatories. I go on both sidelines, and then I do my routine about 2 or 3 times. And then Andrea Shar is also, competing, not competing, but prepping there right now. And we're going to have our second sessions afternoon time.
So twice a day.
It's going to be eventually twice a day, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Just, it gives you, in the morning, it's just my routine. I go to the gym. It's still dark outside. I put my heels on. I weight myself. And then I pose. I check in. Just getting data, And
I know, but give me an example of what has changed. Is it just by physique changes a little bit? So it's a little different angle, or what is it? How does it change?
Sometimes, everything is so locked in with the variables now that if, let's say I woke up this morning, my sleep was yesterday because I travel. I can, there's that on my mind. So I went up like 0.2 pounds. I can see on my physique, does the 0.2 pounds looks good on us? Yeah, okay. Are we still doing a high day today, or we're going for a low day? So that gives us like constant feedback. Are we tweaking things? Not right now, but when it comes down to a show and very close, and we have our responses like that, inflammation or whatever, we know how to deal with them because we have that data of just, okay, we're on 2 low days, 1 high day, and this is how we're feeling and adjusting. So it's just getting the variables all consistent as much as we can for a very long period of time, and that muscle memory too. And then eventually we're going to be able to just adjust and adjust. So then when we come here, if I have a day that I'm more busy, the Thursday, it's an intense day here because we have the press conference. I'm up on my feet. I go back. I do the meet and greet. I do the athletes meeting first, and the meet and greet for the whole duration of that. And then it just, again, gives us that kind of like troubleshooting we just have tools in our back pockets for whatever happens, you know.
Did they change the order this year? What's bikini is when?
Saturday.
So it's
Saturday.
Saturday
They
night.
only moved men. They moved
Fitness.
fitness and classic. They swapped them.
Yeah. It's cool. Love
I'm
Saturday.
impressed right now. You've
I asked those questions for you, Vanessa, by the way, because I know like you want to hear like how much she's practicing her posing. I was thinking of you when I said that,
I looked
actually.
over there like
So like,
So I think-
because this is questions you would like to know, a top competitor like this.
So my idea when it comes to posing, it's you're not gonna learn anything new after 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you're already tired. You might even learn some mistakes. So get locked in, be intentional. The same way that you're intentional when you're training, do the same thing when you do posing. So you walked in, you know how you do your rounds. Sometimes I put an Olympia video and it's Cindy's voice and I'm able to visualize. And that's how we're going to do our afternoon sessions. But yeah, no, you go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever feels good. Don't push it. And if you have more creative days, sometimes it happens, I will go a little bit over or come back after in the afternoon and then I can be more creative. And that's probably on my rest day. Then on my rest day, I put my music. I know I don't have any training or meals that needs to be like right on time. I can be a little more, soft with it maybe on Saturday off days. And then I would spend more time like doing creative stuff. And that's where I come with just my routine and doing fun stuff. Yeah. Cause I still like doing that. So.
How has your training for your glutes changed tremendous? Because you're known for your glutes.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about that, what the judges, what they were telling you based on your physique. What did you need to adjust to?
I think it really came down to bringing my glutes where they weren't overpowering my physique. And for a very long time, that was the case. And I can definitely see it now where it was. I think now the judges' feedback for amateurs or even pros are always going to be, we want more upper glute and we want more density. Like they're actually looking for projection now. That's why Tyler is, evaluating our walk towards the back to make sure that we have that fullness that's held over there. And it's a lot. It's a big muscle, so you have to have like all of these little parts grown equally.
You have an ebook on this?
Yes.
On training?
Yes.
Shout out the ebook so we know where to get that.
Alrighty. All my people that wants to be a part of, there's 7 programs on my Q app. You can get a monthly membership, or else you have 7 programs. The latest one is Raw Rebuilt, is the one I'm currently doing right now. It's exactly what Damien and I have been training on. I have a solid workout plan there. So if you want to have my glute growth from the last year, you go on this app and you get the Raw Rebuild Phase 1. There'll be Phase 2 coming soon, August 1st, and then Phase 3. So we get the full glute rebuild, the rebuild of Lauralie.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll link it.
Thank you, guys.
I was going to
We
ask
expect
you
our
what
commission. No.
I was going to ask you what the best upper glute, like you just mentioned upper glute, like you ever prefer, like can you tell one exercise that probably is the best?
Yes, I think
I'm asking for myself too, because Angie says I can't have a shovel ass.
that's my girl. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I love that she holds
Because
you
that's
to
what
a
happens
juicy
as-
standard.
That's what happens to men as they get over 50.
Grandpa pants.
And I'm holding on to it pretty good right now because I'm squatting and I do bridges with a heavy dumbbell, like squeeze.
Do you on the floor?
Yeah.
He does kickbacks too. I've seen
No,
him.
I don't do kickbacks. But tell me what's the best upper glute exercise, do you think?
Probably like a reverse hyper. So reverse hyper would be like on the 45 degree, but you do it reverse. So you basically have both feet up in the air. It's just easier. It's basically a kickback, right? Like a donkey kickback.
What do you do that on though? A machine or?
You can do a Smith machine.
Yeah,
And now there's so many machines now. People are doing like hyper extension. So I think what people need to understand is the function of the muscle, right? Like if you're trying to build an upper glute, you're actually trying to have a really good leg extension. So any leg extension movement you can find that on ChatGPT, leg extension, and then you do that. But leg extension can actually be achieved also with the upper body.
So you have to
Take
lay flat and then your legs go backwards, right?
It's a
froggy kind of thing. I don't know what they call it.
froggies. I've heard that word.
Listen.
You would not. You would.
Listen,
we're gonna
I don't
get.
consider you
We
confident
need
for
to
you.
get you doing this.
After this competitive season's over, I demand you come back and film this with Jay.
Say less.
We need to see Jay. We need a reel of you doing these with Lauralie.
Who you try to get me? No, I tried to do this with your Rishna,
Rishna,
didn't I?
yeah.
Yes.
Wait, if I can be a part of this, I would love that.
We just need it. You know what? We're just going to get like 3 or 4 of the top girls. Ashley lives out here too. We'll get a bunch of, we'll
Ashley.
get them, and they're just going to put you
You
through the ringer.
know, when I started training, there was nothing that had to do with glute training.
0.
And now, if a gym is not well equipped with glute machines, which now Dragons, I heard, has now got way more glute stuff, by the way. They just upgraded, have you heard?
Oh no, that's
A lot of new glute equipment. And you're here, obviously, for the seminar. So big shout out to Dragons. What's the name of the seminar you're doing? Is it just a workshop? Or
It's a workshop, yeah, I believe.
And now the gyms are packed with glute equipment.
I'd
But
say
you're
8
still-
to 10 pieces.
But
most
you
of
just
them.
mentioned a Smith machine and like kind of like whatever. So people are still doing the Charles Glass method. Did you train with Charles Glass? Or?
Yes. That's one of
And
his
you still do?
exercise. Every time I have
see
the
you doing
opportunity
videos,
to do,
yeah.
yes. Every time I have the opportunity, that's one of the people. John Meadows passed away before I was able to do that with him and train. But I think we have really great trainer that, are getting older, and it's reality. So whenever I get the opportunity to do that, I do. Yeah, he's incredible. I like him a lot.
Is Gold's Venice motivational for you when you go there?
Yeah, still to this day, it's a scene though. I probably couldn't
Different
train
from
there
when
anymore.
You were there, yeah.
Yeah.
But she's one of the few bikini pros that actually train there on a regular basis. There's not a ton that do.
No, I think it's just it's
Small
a
handful.
destination gym. People go but then the people that train there every day, it's cool because they're characters. It's fun. I like it.
You know what I was saying before? I'm impressed with the maturity that you have, because I still remember the young Lauralie who's maybe went in different directions, and now you're very assertive with what you want. You know what you want. You're sticking to it, and you're not diverting, and that's something that I think a lot of the girls coming up need to see that from one of the OGs saying, "Hey, man." And when the girls come to you, maybe like how you went to Angelica, where she like takes all the girls under her wing, where you now can be that person that they can come to for inspiration. So you've grown into the position you're in. So
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that because it's hard. I say that my healed version of myself is a lot more mean than it used to be, but it just went from being people pleasing, I think I had a lot of that. And I just thought everything kind of works out the way that it needs to be working out. And I've had a lot of things happening in my personal life. And, I'm thankful for bodybuilding because it kept me, probably sane. But I'm not ashamed of like everything that I've been through in the past and all the relationship now. I've made so much peace with it, and I'm so proud of it now to like have that under me, to be able to be so sure about myself and where I'm going. And I know that anyone that has been trying to either, even the people that have wanting me to fail, like now they're kind of like, I respect where you're at. I never wanted bad for you, but I can see that you're finally fulfilling that potential and that confidence that you should have as a woman. It's hard, it's hard. There's a lot of people that, we're talking about Jendori, like she had it right away from the get-go. I feel like if one did her career right, it's probably one like her. And with her partner, Mark, you have somebody that really supports you. Like they understand the sport, like it's important. But when you get into the sport so young, you think and I was walking like I think I knew, and I think that I was okay. And I tend to be a little bit of a contrarian sometimes, from times to times, and just be like, you say it doesn't work, like I'll show you I can make it work. And sometimes it's just like going through it and like having the universe testing your values and just be like, no, I actually value that, and like that's not aligned with me anymore, and I'm not going to entertain it because I don't have more time. Like I don't have more time. Every single time counts, and I'm proud to making the sport a priority now, and the way that I'm making it in a very like sane way.
when you won the Olympia title, I mean, you were super popular. Do you feel like that was a huge, number one, did it lift something off of you, but at the same time, was it that much of a rise up from what you had being like a known person or, being second or, of course, Arnold Classic champion? Did it really change the scope of everything when you won the title? Did the respect factor go up further?
I guess maybe. I'll never know. I think for myself, I didn't really felt that. I kind of felt like, okay, now I'm finally Miss Olympia.
Because it stays with you forever.
It does.
Like you're like when they announce you, and I thought about that.
For Miss Olympia.
Yeah, well, no, it's Miss Olympia. You're always going to be just like I'll be Mr. Olympia. It doesn't matter, right? It does. It's like a box, right? You win Arnold Classics, Olympia, won every other show. I mean, Pittsburgh, several. How many times you win that?
It's twice. I only did that show twice.
So you've won a lot of these competitions. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of titles. But I know for me, like it did, like I thought I was popular. And then when I won the Olympia, it really exploded my popularity beyond the respect. When I walked in a room, the respect factor was there.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure like that has that weight. When I walk into a room and you're able to say I'm 2024. I'm speaking from a place of I won the Olympia now. Everything probably holds more weight because I've experienced it. I fought for it, and then I won it finally. Actually,
Yeah.
So yeah, probably.
You have that title for the rest of your life, always.
And now she says she's going to win it again this year,
Yeah.
There might be more excitement in the bikini division than any other ones because think of how many former champions are in there.
There's many.
I'm assuming how many? Issa.
We've been talking about the bikini division a lot.
Issa,
on this
Maureen,
podcast, actually.
Ashley,
Thank
you.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, last year I know Angelica was there. Jen Dory could still come back. She's still young.
Anytime, I know.
Yeah.
Of course.
Hopefully she does one day.
Yeah,
She's
people
still there.
people still
She
want
should.
to see. People still want to see her.
Yeah.
Like all the time, I see in the comments they want to see her back. No, it's many of us, but the Olympia has been like that for a little bit for the bikini category. Simply, and I think because Angelica was the last one to repeat. Every single year has been different winners. Sometimes Maureen won twice and then Jen won twice, but
They
for the
skip
most
years.
part,
Yeah.
it can be volatile a little bit of who's holding the title that year. So
It's one of those divisions. I mean, we talk about it, but also, that there's a lot of competitors that are coming to Olympia, worldwide now. I mean, they've done a great job, right, expanding the contests all over the world. But it's also created the division to be a little crowded when it comes down to qualification. They now did the point system. Obviously, it doesn't affect you as much. I mean, there's certain shows. Do you have to win one show? You have to win one or several?
Two.
Okay. You have to
It's
win
like-
two
it's
shows.
like,
to
if I
actually-
remember right, it's the top three. You have to win.
are you
two
qualified for
shows.
life, though, or-
She's qualified for
Okay.
life. Yeah. You have to win two shows. Top. No, actually, I think if you win one of the major shows, it's only
thought
one.
once,
right?
yeah, like
Arnold,
Arnold.
Pittsburgh, New York. You automatically get a qualification.
know.
yes, and there's one other that you can actually, if you
Romania?
win, you're in.
Is it?
Yes, I think
Romania,
so. Yeah.
yeah.
You win, you're in, and then
Yep.
all the other one it's two, and
Two.
then you get points.
The top 25 points, right?
Yeah.
So they're still going to have 50 girls.
Do we still
It won't be like 80.
45, I think, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's a lot.
Is it hard? I mean, it's hard, right? I mean, you're backstage, and if you're number 3, to come back around, right? To stay peaked for, I mean, how long is your prejudging sometimes? And
An
you have
hour and a half.
You have to prepare for that
Yeah.
to make sure your body stays.
Yeah.
of-
And lock it into place. And it is hard.
Is that getting more difficult? That wasn't the way it was when you first competed, right? Correct?
Yeah, no, it was very like 25, I think, the first year. And it was different backstage too, I remember like I haven't even seen every competitor backstage. Like I was like, "Oh, you were at the Olympia this year?" Like I didn't, like that's crazy to me. Like I haven't seen you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's different. But again, it's a game plan that the best coaches knows how to handle, and I'm expecting that, and we're getting prepared for that. Truly, like the ice bath is not just to look cool on Instagram. Like I don't even take it. It's for the mental aspect of it. If you think I can be in an ice bath at 4:30 in the morning every single morning, even when I don't want it, backstage, I'm going to be able to control my breath. You know
I'm the only anti-ice bath person in this room.
That's fair. Why?
I just never, I don't, I had it at my house. They dropped it off and I never used it once. I said, come pick it up.
It's a cold plunge, though. It's different.
That's what it was, yeah. Cold plunge.
I do it twice a
Not
day.
cold enough. Do you?
Well, Matt's on this fitness journey now. Like, he's transformed his life. There's a person that helped him do that. But
Have you talked about it on the podcast?
Not really. A little bit.
People would love that.
I mean, I'm
Oh, he has a
I'm
little bit.
235 now. I was 285 in November. So
So what do you think, like in one sentence, like what did you change? Like what was that, like that commitment, that like mantra that you put on paper, like, or in your head that you were just like, this is it?
I just made a decision one day, and I'm not someone that if I make a decision, that's just what it is. And I remember on Christmas Day, I used to drink a 12-pack of diet soda every day. And I said, I'm done. I'm not having a soda ever again. I just quit.
and that's not the worst thing, by the way.
No, but between that and then going overseas as much as I do and coming back, I always noticed when I'd come back, I'd feel really bad. And it was more from the eating. And I realized that I have certain foods that I just can't eat anymore. And once I removed them, I just felt amazing.
Okay.
And then at that point, it was, Vanessa started prepping for her show. And I went, all right, we cut everything out. So now I either eat potatoes, rice, proteins, vegetables. I don't want no junk food. I don't want enough. I don't want anything outside of that little circle house of food. I do 30 minutes of cardio every day. I do the ice bath twice a day, and I just stick to that.
You know
And
what
it
changed, Tim?
slowly came down.
A woman, a beautiful
That's
lady.
I've tried to tell him for years. He hangs out with me. Come on, I'm a nut job. I just eat, like, I go to Cheesecake Factory and eat chicken and rice.
I know.
You know what I was going to say, though? You know one thing that Lauralie has on all her competitors?
Please say it.
None of them can eat more pancakes than her.
Thank you. But not just pancakes. Come on now.
You don't. You
Just
con-
eat, period.
Period.
Controlled
Period.
You've obviously controlled your eating like crazy now.
Yeah.
She's
'Cause you're in
starving for
shape all the
sure.
time.
Listen,
No, but you change your mindset. It's
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
over matter. It's like you. I ask you all. I ask him all the time. What are you going to eat today?
Same
and he
shit.
doesn't have anything exciting to tell me anymore. Chicken.
you know what's exciting? You know what's
You
exciting?
were living through him, though.
No,
You
because
were.
no,
He eats
I
worse
wasn't.
than I do.
I wasn't, but he always had something that.
Something good
Like,
before.
yeah, like,
now
oh,
I
I
don't.
stopped and got this sandwich here, but now it's like, oh, you got chicken in the fridge, and he sends me pictures of food, and it's like your prep food right now.
Fair, but this is your happy spot. This is your happy.
You know what it is? I feel good. If I go right now, if I had one bite of pizza, I'd hurt for 3 days. I just can't do it.
And it's
I just
not
don't want
worth
to.
it.
No, I just don't. I don't want. Now, when we go overseas, it's different. I can go eat pizza in Italy, and guess what? No problem. I just
Right.
can't while I'm here. I just can't do it. And
Because Vanessa's not
you know,
there.
actually, you know what? If you said one sentence, you have to learn how to eat to live, not live to eat. That's
That's
what it is.
it. Like emotion out the window.
I
But-
said you eat for function, not for taste.
But
yes.
That was my.
But she could eat like 10 pancakes. Like we would go to have breakfast.
But listen, that doesn't exist in your. You don't eat that like ever.
no,
right?
no, but it's no. What I'm trying to say is she could eat like 3 meals, and it wouldn't show. And then like 2 hours later, she'd eat it again, and she's eaten more than 300-pound bodybuilders.
She's tall, you know.
I was made to be a bodybuilder. Listen.
So
can't
is
eat.
Andrea Shaw going to get you to switch it up?
No.
Do you
That's
train with her ever?
Never. No, she does her thing. Immense respect for her, though. Most selfless competitor I've ever seen. She's
awesome.
so gracious. Like,
We need her badly on the podcast.
She's going to. I will say this. I've said this over and over. She is the best representation of any Olympia champion we have. Like, if everybody just followed the way she is, positive, looks up, just a happy person, and it just rubs off on you.
it's incredible.
Yes.
It's incredible. She doesn't, I don't think she knows like the aura that she carries.
Yes.
It's impressive. And then she's just so beautiful. Like, you know, she's just like, well, I'm in my cardio because she trains at 6 every day in the morning. So I'm on my cardio. And then she's over there and she does the side laterals. But it's just so beautiful. It's just so, and then she's about to start training, right? And she comes into the room and she's like, oh, you're posing. Okay, let's run it. Most selfless, human being I've ever met in my entire life. Athlete, 6 times. Like training for like what is probably the biggest pressured show. Like the Arizona is like a lot of pressure for her. And still the same.
I know, but I can think about, I witnessed a moment with you. You mentioned a girl that had won a show, Gianna, right? Was that her name on one of your speeches?
Yes.
Which I know her. And I'm sure that meant the world to her. Like when you said, I just saw her backstage. What show was that at?
Pittsburgh.
Okay, you were giving your speech. And that's a champion respect factor. Like you just mentioned a girl literally that did she compete or won that show? Did she win something there? Or
she had just won her pro card recently.
Arnold,
but she was
one of the shows.
No, it wasn't. Did she win? Wait,
she might have won the Arnold. I think she won the
Amateurs.
Arnold. Yes, I think she won the Arnold Amateurs.
I think you're right.
And she was doing something backstage at the show, and you were speaking to her. Or is she competing? Was she competing
was not
with
competing.
you? Okay.
No, she was not competing in Pittsburgh. She gave the trophy for one of the companies she's working for. She was there and she gave me my trophy. Yeah. And then.
And what'd she say?
No, it was like a crazy moment. I was like looking at her. Yeah, it was like just both her and I. And it's, we had some talks beforehand of just her, winning, posing. We had a little session together. And it's all the things that I got the chance to do with her. But she's such an incredible little young girl, 23.
I mean, think about it. You ever put yourself in those shoes and say, if someone would have gave me this moment? I do that all the time. I try to spend as much time with people because I still recall when I was 18 or 20 or when I met Dorian Yates for the first time. I'm sitting at a dinner table in Hawaii. I was 22 and I'm like, oh my God, I want to ask Dorian Yates something, but I don't want to sound stupid. And I asked him a question his wife answered, and then I asked another question his wife answered, and I'm like, damn, I just want Dorian to,
Yeah.
So I think about those moments when you meet your heroes, and that girl met you backstage or whatever, it gave you the trophy, and that probably meant the way you talked about her in your speech, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great moment. I met her actually the Pittsburgh year before that, and I saw her walking past the elevator. And she came to me. She was even younger then. She was 20, but already good on TikTok, And I'm like, I'm still learning, I feel like I'm giving my age now, but I'm learning TikTok and I see her she's thriving. She's doing her own thing. I'm like, she's like, I'm a big fan. I'm like, you know what? I'm a big fan too. I love what you do. So we've been exchanging on this and that. And then eventually it's let's work on your proposing. And we just went back and forth and she was nailing it. And I'm like, I would just add a little touch of that. And then, you make the difference, Every time I see you with kids in the posing room, can you imagine, living that? So I can't put myself in their place, but I can be humane. And I think more and more people just wants to be seen, Jay. I feel like people are just so into their own thing and it's okay. But if you have the ability to just see the person for what they are and what they've achieved, we know how hard it is. And we don't know what they go through. But if for 1 second you can make them feel, that you actually listen, it doesn't take you a lot. And people would be surprised how much you get from it too. So
you probably never imagined you'd be here, right?
No, not in a million years. I couldn't even speak English. Useless. No, completely useless. And then, but yet again, it was one day, 15 stories later of recording again. I'm like, if I'm trying to do this, I won't be able to do this 15 times all over again. So I said, F it. Post. And then, that got a momentum going, slowly but surely you just expose and expose and expose. And then people accept you and they eventually see you grow. And I met some people, they follow me since the very beginning and they show me posts of I'm like, oh my God. Okay. You went through it with me actually.
I've said this over and over to build a fan base, you just have to be authentic. And too many people, especially women, will, I can't pose that. I don't like that angle. I don't like this. I don't like, they try to stage everything to be perfect. But nobody lives a perfect life. They want to feel like they can relate to you and go, oh, wow, she's one of the best in the world. And she's going through issues like I am. I like her. She's like me. You have to be relatable.
Exactly.
And put not everything, but most of your vulnerabilities out. You don't have to put everything.
It's just don't be ashamed of anything. I don't know what kind of pressure people are putting themselves on. And I had a discussion with Gianna actually not so long ago. And I'm sure she won't mind me sharing this, but she posted something about her feeling like she went on social media and now she just feels like she was not herself anymore. And it's kind of like, it's not really what she wants to talk about because Gianna, the bodybuilder, is more serious now. And I was just like, hey, you keep going back to Gianna, the bodybuilder, but you forget who Gianna is. Like, have you figured that out yet? And I think that that's what I would have wanted to hear when I was younger. Just, hey, you're you and you're all you and it's so great. Just post about it. And that made my job so much easier. So much easier. Because I'm like, now my deliverables, my sponsor, they want exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I can get paid exactly what I've been doing. Yes, because it works. And it works because it's easy for me to be up there and posting about it and having fun with it. I think people are just so serious about everything. You know what I mean?
Life is not that serious.
Life isn't. Social media isn't, because that should be, a part of just your life, like you said. But then if you're making a business, that's another different goal. But if your goal is to create some type of inspiration, like, you can't go in there with just a perfect picture already. Like, anyone that sells, how those like sales classes, you think they went to one of these before, like selling those classes? You think they went to one of these? Probably not.
They're expensive.
They are expensive, but I don't think they went there. They just went through the trenches, and people need to go through the trenches as the most honest, vulnerable that they have right now. And all they have is right now. Like, you don't have to be 30 when you're 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course it's going to look different. My 23 is, different era, different music, different look. But still, you should still be 23 and not taking it too seriously,
I have no more questions.
You're
Anything-
done with the bikini segment.
No, I don't. I know you have things you need to do today, so I need you to keep you have a certain like bandwidth of what you need
Things
to do,
that I
because you're
can
going to be
trim on.
speaking.
And I know you're going to have a couple
You're gonna be
hours of
busy.
work tonight, so you got to be ready mentally
I know,
for that.
I know. And I won't take caffeine. Like, that's my thing. It's like, I'm traveling, but I won't change anything, like variables. I can't.
Anything you want to shout out besides the ebook and
No, you guys, just you. I mean, thank you. You have no idea. For me, it's intimidating. I respect you obviously a lot. Champion, yes, but more as a human being. It's always been the case. And we go a long time, but you're a friend, and I appreciate you so much. That lady over there too. You're beautiful. Thank you for doing what you do. The people around you, and also being such a sunshine to everybody too. But yeah, no, thank you guys.
we're going to do it again at some point, but I know we had planned this for quite a minute, and I think this was the perfect opportunity.
I think so too.
He just funny. He just mentioned like, oh, Lauralie's coming. Let me hit her up. And he was standing like right here, and he texted you like, hey, you coming?
Because I saw it on the fly. I was like, wait a minute, because
I'm not going to be here. I leave tomorrow. So
this
I'm
is
not
his
gonna
only
miss
day
that.
here.
Yeah.
So
I leave.
Good
it was
timing.
either today or yeah.
Or yeah, or
But
like
no, because
after.
It's a
we
big
were
weekend in Vegas,
we were going to
so-
do this in the past, and it just wasn't the best time to do it.
It was a different spirit.
Yes.
It would have been interesting to see the difference, but I'm okay with it though.
No,
I'm really okay with it.
I think we need this happy,
Yeah,
ready to
it's
battle,
better.
and not a what went wrong.
No, for sure. For sure. And nothing went wrong. Again, Matt, everything went exactly how it was supposed to be. Did it suck? Yeah. Big time. But it's never going to happen again. It won't. It won't. Thank you guys.
Appreciate it so much.
And we're out.
Yo.